Hi there, my name is Gajan and let's look inside of the Sony Ericsson Satio. Just in case you're wondering who's that is Maggie Q, Die Hard 4 and Mission Impossible 3. Anyway, let's get started with the handphone. If you look on the top, you've got 5 icons over here and you've got 4 icons below and you've got the music player. The animations are very nice indeed if you ask me. Now the first icon over here shows your favorite contacts. It's very simple. We've got a plus and minus here. You can either add or delete them. You can see their pictures. The animations are very nice. And let's move on to the second icon. Now the second icon is the Sony Ericsson browser, and here are all the bookmarks. There are actually more, but I've deleted them because I'm using Opera. And then on the fourth icon is all your recently taken pictures. The animations are very nice indeed. And then on the last icon is all your favorite apps, which is pretty practical if you ask me. Alright, right below here you've got 4 icons. The first one obviously is to dial a number. And then this is my favorite icon because this is the media function, where you can actually go through your photos, your videos, and also your music, all in one icon. That is very clever indeed, and it's very practical. The only thing is I just wish that they added another icon here which says games. And then the third icon is your messaging. As you can see by just clicking, this is the full screen keypad. You can change it to the minimum, but that's impossible unless you use the stylus. And then you've got the handwriting and you've got the alphanumeric keypad, which is like a normal handphone. The bad thing about this SMSing is you don't get smileys. It's all in text. That's the downside of this messaging. Other than that, I think it's pretty normal. It's very similar to Nokia's touchscreen handphones because it's using Symbian as well. And then the last icon here is the search button, where you can search whatever you want. Now if you actually look at the menu, it is very similar to the Nokia handphones because, like I said, this is Symbian, the 5th edition. So I'm not going to go really into this. Another thing about this Sony Ericsson Satio is in the advertisement they advertise with this Facebook application, but the truth is when you get this handphone it doesn't come with it. You have to actually download it from the Play Now Arena. Just in case if you're wondering what is Play Now Arena, this is the icon over here. It is equivalent to Apple's App Store, but obviously not as good as that. This is Sony Ericsson's version, and if you ask me, it is quite ridiculous because most of the things are all with a price tag. There are a few free things such as the Facebook application, but most of it you have to pay, so that is quite inconvenient if you ask me. Now this is really a good handphone, but I'll start off with the downsides first. One of the downsides is it's got a very low battery life. The standby battery life is approximately more than 300 hours, but if you to use it for web browsing, to take pictures, then it is pretty low. Another downside is there is no 3.5mm jack for your headsets, which means you actually have to use Sony Ericsson's headsets just to listen to music. And another downside is this is the worst of all, especially if you frequently use the camera. The thing with this handphone is it's got a 12.1 megapixel camera, which is very good. But the problem with Sony is they've made this handphone so good in taking pictures that they've forgotten about people importing pictures from the computer into this handphone. Take for example, recently I imported 5 of my folders from my computer into this handphone, and what happens is everything's all jumbled up under pictures. I click pictures and my folders are all gone. It's all mixed up. That is pretty irritating if you ask me. And I've actually tried in every way to create a folder. You actually can't create a folder inside your pictures. You may probably be thinking, what is camera album? That shows your timeline when you have taken the pictures. But if let's say you were to import folders from your computer, the folders all just get mixed up under pictures. As you can see, there are car pictures over here, and then I've got family pictures and all. They're all mixed up, and it is very inconvenient if you ask me. If let's say you're in the same situation and you really want to group your pictures together, one way is obviously the photo tags, where you can group them according, let's say you can just write families or outings or whatsoever. Then when you click them, all your photos will appear, but you have got a lot of work to be done. But if let's say you were to take pictures using this camera, then yes, the pictures are all nicely distributed. But when it comes to importing pictures from your computer, it may be quite inconvenient. Another downside is when you get this handphone, Sony gives you a very lousy headset, which is right over here. As you can see, it uses this port, conventional port. The headset are pretty cheap if you ask me. So if you're really into music and you're really planning to use this phone as your music player, then I advise you to get the Bluetooth headset, where it's a wireless headset. Obviously it's way more expensive. Other than that is when you connect this handphone to your computer, Sony Ericsson uses this program called MediaGo. You can actually use it for your PSP as well. That is a very slow program if you ask me, especially when you're importing videos. When it comes to photos, it's okay, but when it comes to importing videos, it takes a very long time. Another downside is the internal memory is very little. It's 128, which means if you were to play games, you have to use your external memory, and that will slow down your game. Other than that, I can't see any other downsides. It is actually a pretty good phone. Now I'll move on to the things that I really like about the Sony Ericsson Satio. First of all, obviously, we cannot forget that this has probably the best camera in any handphone in the world. It actually holds the title of the best camera handphone in the world right now. Sony has still kept to the traditional cover lens, which is good. Some people have said that this is actually bulky, but if you ask me, it serves a lot of purpose. Number one, based on my friends' experience on their Nokia touchscreen handphones,